let's get into the background of this case. Who are the players? What did they do? What's their relation to all of this that's going on? Taylor SCHABUSINESS, this is not her first rodeo. This is not her first involvement with the police. She has a criminal past. Certainly nothing as serious as she's been charged with here, but you could say the writing was on the wall. So what has she done? Well, she has previous arrests on charges, including fleeing and eluding officers, felony bail jumping, possessing drug paraphernalia, resisting an officer, battery on a law enforcement officer, and operating a vehicle with a suspended license. She has previous arrests in Brown County where this trial is happening. Both were in 2020. She was arrested in June of 2020 and charged with battery or threat to a law enforcement officer. This is going to come back later when we read the charging documents. So she was arrested in 2020, charged with battery or threat to a law enforcement officer, which is a felony, and resisting or obstructing an officer. She was found guilty after pleading no contest. No contest basically says I'm not admitting guilt, but we're not going to go to trial because you have enough evidence to convict me. So it's not pleading guilty. It's essentially the same as a guilty verdict, but you just don't have to say the words. She was sentenced to 3 years of probation and 60 days in jail, according to records. Now, this was June. And then 2 months later, in August of 2020, SCHABUSINESS was charged with bail jumping and resisting an officer. We got 2 resisting officer arrests on her. The bail jumping charges were dismissed as part of the June case. Also there in August 2020, she was charged with misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. If you look on her Facebook and other people's Facebook things, she has a history of drug abuse. It was a surprise to no one that she was using. She was also, again, charged with resisting an officer and felony fleeing from an officer in a vehicle, which, of course, she didn't have a license to operate. And she was sentenced to 2 years probation in that case. Now, in 2018, Taylor SCHABUSINESS changed her name. Her birth name is Taylor Denise Coronado. So Taylor Denise Coronado changed her name to Taylor SCHABUSINESS in 2018. And she's lived in San Antonio, Houston, Temple, and Cotulla, Texas, and someplace in Wisconsin called Suamico. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't know about her. We all know that we don't all know. Some of us know the gory details of what she's done to her boyfriend. But, well, she, at least at the time all of this went down, I don't know if it's still the case or not, but she was married. Taylor SCHABUSINESS was married at the time all of this went down. Why change her name? Asks people in chat. Silent PS asked it because Taylor SCHABUSINESS sounds cool. That's probably my guess. So anyway, she was married. She was married at the time, and she had an infant child. Her child was less than a year old. Her son was born in 2021. At the time of this incident, which we'll get to the details there in a little bit later, her husband was in jail in Wisconsin on unrelated charges, and he was in custody at the time the victim was killed, so he had nothing to do with it, clearly. So she was married with an infant child, and her husband was in prison, in jail at the time of the incident. Now, according to court records, she did not have custody of the child. Thank God for that. I don't know who had custody of the child, but she did not. And her husband, the one that was in prison, the one that was in jail at the time this went down, her husband's Facebook page called her Queen Taylor SCHABUSINESS. And on it, he wrote, "I do trust my beautiful wife. I will do anything to protect her. Stay strong, boo-boo. I love you." They'd been together since 2017. And this is what I'm going to read here. This is a quote from his Facebook page. Just to make sure my queen knows that no matter if we're apart or not, that I will do whatever is necessary to get her back next to me. Never will I give up on her, nor will I ever lose confidence in our SCHABUSINESS empire. My word has been my word to her. My word to her will never change. She knows better than anyone that I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Now, baby, I promise you that I'm going to be coming to get you. It's your golden year, and best believe you'll be in my arms for it. Baby, stay strong and always know that your king knows how to do one thing and one thing only. That's right. We know best. The business shuffle hustle. The door is going to slam. Okay. The wind blew the door shut. I have to read that sentence again. This is a stupid sentence. Now, baby, I promise you that I'm going to be coming to get you. It's your golden year, and best believe you'll be in my arms for it. Baby, stay strong, and always know that your king knows to do one thing and one thing only. That's right, what we know best, the business shuffle hustle. Now, calm down, smile, and tell yourself with confidence that you're doing a good job. It's only a matter of time before you're home, baby. Till then, know that I'm here for you. Never have or will I give up on us? We will get through this obstacle/struggle together. Baby girl, it's been tough not having you by my side, but you're what motivates me to stay sane. Because nothing or no one could ever replace the feelings I get when I'm next to your sexy ass. For real, though. It actually says that. Be ready, because I'm going to come and get you soon. I promise, baby. I love you and I miss you so much, beautiful. XOXO love, King Poppy Boo Shabusiness. Well, there you have it. That's a little love note. that's a little love note there. That's his job, according to him. Taylor Shabusiness, her last public appearance on Facebook was January 13th, 2020. Where she wrote, went off and presumably this is talking about her husband, went off and told an addict, I'll never stop buying you dope so I could sit back and watch you die. Also on January 13th, she wrote on her Facebook, I got hitched to show them my commitment. So that's again, presumably talking about her husband. I got hitched to show my commitment, loyalty, and dedication to them. That I was never going to be how I used to be. Then they turn around and fuck on me. There's no way I'll ever go into another relationship. Hashtag can't trust no one. Right. So a friend, after her arrest, she wrote on her Facebook page, I knew she had mental health problems and drug addictions, but to be honest, I didn't know the drug side of her when we hung out and she was not high. The other girl who cried This is the girl who cried when I told her that I had a tumor in my leg, who cried tears of happiness thanking God when my family received a Christmas miracle. She was always so kind to me and my family. But the last month, I had barely heard from her and assumed she was on a drug binge. And to be honest, I was worried about her, but not in the way where I thought this was something she was capable of. I wish I could have helped her get her life straightened out. I really do. But now it's too late. And I'll feel guilt for not being there for her more. This friend also said that she was one of the few sober friends she had. And it breaks her heart that all this is going on. She's known her about 9 years. Now, yikes. I mean, that's a little bit about her, but who was the victim in this? The victim in this was a boy by the name of Shad Therian. Shad Therian was 24 years old. And he'd been in the Howard Swamico School District. He was a student there from 2010 to 15. And according to records, he's not listed as graduating from Bayport. So we don't know if he's a high school graduate or not. His obituary that was published listed his parents names and said that he had worked with his father and grandfather at their family business. Shad enjoyed camping, games, and spending time with his family. The obituary says he was a very kind and compassionate person who often thought of others before himself. A talented artist, he was also good at wood carving. And he ran into Taylor Shabusiness. And again, there's they're from the same schools, but also Taylor Shabusiness isn't listed as a graduate of the high school in town. So we don't know if they graduated from some other school or if one or neither of them graduated from high school. We mentioned her previous criminal record, and some of this news is coming from the Green Bay Press Gazette. So thanks to them for publishing this. She had a previous criminal record, including a recent conviction, as we said, for fleeing and eluding and obstructing an officer. She'd been sentenced to 3 months in jail on January 4th with work release privileges. And so apparently that was when the when the letter from her husband was posted on Facebook while she was serving her 3 months in jail, but being out on work release. It's unclear whether she was out of jail on work release at the time of Therian's death on February 23rd. Now, how did they come into contact? How did SCHABUSINESS and Shad Therian get to know each other? Well, they'd been friends and they were knocking boots. They were involved in a sexual relationship. And we know that from the statements that she gave to the police. We'll talk about her arresting documents and all. I mean, there's self snitches, and then there's Taylor SCHABUSINESS level self snitching. Check out the charging documents, the criminal complaint, to see just how bad her self snitching was. So she self snitched, right? She self snitched on just about everything. So, let's see. Scanning through here to see if there's anything else we really need to mention what as far as a background thing goes. Okay, what we don't know yet is why she was out of jail on the day that this murder happened. We just don't know. Was it work released? Did she just fail to go back? We don't know what happened. We don't know why she was out of that at the night. I mean, this was the nighttime. So again, if I was a betting person, I would say she got out on work release, or if she got out on early release, cool. But that doesn't make sense for one reason we'll talk about a little bit later. I think maybe she got let out on a work release and then just kind of didn't go back. That's kind of the thing that we don't know yet. And so she allegedly committed this crime. Then she was arrested. And she originally pled not guilty. And at the beginning, there was a bit of a dispute because she reportedly had been assigned a public defender, and she had also reportedly appointed her own attorney. So there was a little bit of conflict, and there was a hearing that was held to decide which lawyer was actually in charge of this case. And also the defense had asked, okay, well, how that all got worked out is they were arguing back and forth. And at one point, I think the self-appointed lawyer, the lawyer that had been appointed by Taylor SCHABUSINESS, saw the light, and she said, "Tell you what, you can take the case. It's all yours," and gave the case to the public defender's office, which resolved that problem. Oh, we have a Meme Copium raid. Hey, peeps from Meme Copium, welcome to channel. All right, and so all of you that are here, we've got 932 of you watching this now. This is awesome. This is great because this trial is going to be the big ol' SCHABUSINESS. Hit that like button. About half of you haven't done your job, so hit the like button while you're here, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a minute of the Taylor SCHABUSINESS coverage. So the lawyer problem got worked out. They turned it over to the public defender. The public defender asked for a mental evaluation. That was number one. They asked for a competency evaluation to see if she was competent to stand trial. They did that. The court-appointed psychologist came back and said, yes, she's competent to stand trial. The defense lawyer, then he wanted a second opinion. So he said, hey, judge, I want a second opinion. Can you appoint somebody else to do that? Because she's not paying attention to me. She's not communicating with me. He was saying that she is, and the standard is she coherent? Does she understand the charges against her? Is she able to assist in any meaningful way in her own defense? And they had her on camera at this point, and she was just walking around where she was supposed to be sitting and paying attention. She was walking around and being non-responsive. To me, it looked like a big act. I have no idea because I'm not a psychologist, but it looked like an act just for this purpose. And so the lawyer said, she's not communicating with me. She's not assisting with the defense. I don't think she understands what's going on. I need a second opinion. The judge said, okay, we got a problem here. I gave you what you wanted, a court-appointed psychologist to run this evaluation. You just don't like what the answer was. So if I appoint another one and you don't like that answer, How long is this going to go on? You can't go on without end. So what's going to happen is if you want to do it, I'll give you time. If you want to do it, you're paying for it. And the defense lawyer said, okay. So the defense lawyer paid to have another evaluation done. Surprisingly, the defense's examiner came back saying she is competent to stand trial. So she couldn't even find an expert that would say that would say she was not competent to stand trial. And then the lawyer decided to change the plea from not guilty to not guilty, which Wisconsin, the Wisconsin version of not guilty by reason of insanity, which I believe is like not guilty due to mental deficiency or something like that. Anyway, it's insanity. Not guilty by reason of insanity. I don't know. I can't recall exactly right off the top of my head what the actual phrasing for the Wisconsin law is, but basically, yeah, she was insane. She was not guilty because she was insane at the time of the accident. Well, what that does is when you enter this plea, that automatically, it's like mental defect. That's what it was. Yeah. When you change your plea to not guilty by reason of mental defect or impairment or whatever it is, that automatically triggers another mental evaluation. So that was mental evaluation 3, and that was done last November, if I recall correctly. And that came back competent, no problems. And then we had this big long stretch where we had a brief interlude where she attacked her lawyer. I think it was February or March. I think it was February. She attacked her lawyer. Sort of. It was kind of a half-ass, and the lawyer was like, all right, no way. And then the officers took her down and squished her over in a corner and like, Taylor, settle down. And so apparently she had a mental break. She freaked out and she didn't know what was happening because suddenly when she was on the ground, she went, oh, okay, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm cool. Yeah. I've come to my senses. That was the lamest lawyer attack I've ever seen. I think it was purely faked. And then the court gave the lawyer the chance to withdraw from the case. And the defense lawyer said, yeah, I'm out of here. And so he hit the road. They appointed a new lawyer. And in July, I believe her brother died. And the new lawyer made the arguments that a lot has happened since last November. She's been on a steady decline since last November. She attacked her lawyer. Her brother died. She's not doing well. She's getting worse. That evaluation is old. So we need a new evaluation. And the judge said, okay, you get a new evaluation. That was done last week. We're going to watch the video of that in just a little bit. The results of that, spoiler alert, was, as I said at the beginning, the expert paid to give testimony on behalf of the defense that was paid for by the defense came back saying the defendant was not competent to stand trial. Well, the court had also appointed a psychologist to do an evaluation, and that person will give their report at a hearing this coming Friday. That sort of brings us up to date on the bare bones background of this case. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I may have got a few of the details wrong because, like I said, I didn't have enough time to review this as much as I wanted to. Go back over my notes and some of the earlier videos. I've done a few Taylor Shabusiness videos. If you want sort of a live, real-time stuff, go back. There's a Taylor Shabusiness playlist. You can go back and check that out and watch some of the older videos where we talk about these things as they happen.